Everyone's like really getting us.
Maybe. Okay. Fine.
Okay, so go.
Okay, welcome to Torah Talk Vayeishev-Chanukah, and also on Chanukah, special Chanukah edition. So now, first of all, we always start off with the answer to last week's question, which was Parshat Vayishlach. The question was, when we know the pasuk Parak Lamed Hey pasuk Dal in Parshat Vayishlach, it says, "Vayitmoin Osam Yaakov." Yaakov buried them tachas va'ela. He buried those avodah zarah that they got from they captured from Shechem under the Elah tree. Asher im Shechem. That was with Shechem. That was by Shechem. So the question was, when were those actually dug up later in history? The answer is, and who dug it up? The answer is, it was dug up later by the Kusim. The Kusim, that group of people, by the Kusim. They dug it up later because the Gemara and the Gemaras talk about it. That the Gemara Chula and Daf Vav Amnalef, it says that it used to be that in the time of Shnayos they were suffix if the group of people, the Kusim, they were kind of nisgayer. They kind of became a ger, but became gerim. But in the time of the Mishnah, they were suffix if they're Yisrael or suffix that they are a goy. So it's like in between. But after that, it was completely that they're a goy. So the Gemara says, Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, they're completely like a guy because they serve by the Zara. They serve a demus of a yoina, like a dove, on top of har grizin. So that's where they do that by the Zara, they're like a guy. Tosfos says on that though, he says, the Medrash says, this avodah zarah actually wasn't the demus yoina, it was actually on those avodah zarah that Yaakov hid on the mountain in Shechem. That was that avodah zarah they were serving. That's what Tosfos says. It's not going like the Gemara. It's from a Medrash, Tosfos says. So the Maratz goes in this. He says, which Medrash says this? It's a Yerushalmi avodah zarah, Parakei Lochadan. It says Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi. Story Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi. He was once going to the city of the Kusim, and the Kusim came to him. So he told them. He revealed to them. He said, I know it's revealed to me that you're not really bowing down to the mountain. You're not bowing down to anything on Har Gerizim. What you are bowing down to, secretly, you're really serving the avodah zarah of Shechem that Yaakov buried. He quoted that pasuk in Parshat Vayishlach. So then, later on, he heard the Kusim secretly saying to themselves, they're whispering to themselves, they're planning how exactly they should kill him. They're planning like how should they exactly set up to kill him. So they said like, early
he figured out
tomorrow morning. Yeah, he figured it out. So tomorrow morning, let's kill him exactly this way. So he heard that, he knew, oh no, that's because I already told him that. So then he quickly left early the next morning, left that city. And the Maratzios continues, says it's also in the Medrash Rabbah, Parshat Vayishlach, Pei Aleph Gimel.
That must be what he's talking about when he says Medrash.
Yeah, the Medrash. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway. Okay, so as we know today, which is Chaf Daled Kislev, the first night of Chanukah, the Chashmonaim, the Machos based Chashmonai, they won the battle against the Yevonim. So the next day, Chaf Hei Kislev, second day of Chanukah, the Nes happened of the Pach Shemen. The Nes of the Pach Shemen happened.
Yeah.
They found Pach Shemen.
Yeah. That was on Chaf Hei. Yeah.
Chaf Hei. So the Zohar says, this is a pasuk. We read in Kriya Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. So that is 25 letters.
25 letters.
When you say Shema Yisrael, it's a yichud of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that was the extra yichidos of HaKadosh Baruch Hu by that time when they found the remaining Pach Shemen.
Oh, really? So that was on the Chaf Hei Kislev, which is connected to 25 letters. Yeah.
Yes. So then after we say Baruch Shem, which has 24 letters.
Exactly 24 letters.
Yes. So 24 letters, which is the Chaf Daled Kislev, of course.
Oh.
So that time, it's like
That's Baruch Shem, Kvoid
Baruch Shem.
Malchusai.
That's when like the Malchus of Hashem was like revealed.
Oh wow.
All these Nisim, yeah.
Wow, very interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just another Zayar. So we know in Parshat Vayeshev it says V'achlan oid Yosef v'yigidu lecha v'yisifu oid tzno Yosef. So when he dreamt another dream, then he told them, and he told his brothers, and then they hated him. So they bring the Zayar, Yalkavani bring the Zayar in Daf Kuf Pei Gimel. It says, from here we know that a person should not say the dream to someone who does not like him. Say his dream, because if he does, then it causes that dream to switch to like the Sitra Achara. It turns into some bad things come from that. So Yosef, he thought his brothers loved him, so he told them his dreams, but really they hated him. So because of that, it got delayed 22 years. That's why it got delayed, because he told them. Because really they hated him. Because he told people that hate him his dream, that's why it ended up getting bad and the whole thing got bad. It would have immediately been Mekayim. His dream would have right away happened if he had not told it to his brothers. Wow. That's how powerful it is. And similarly, Sefer Chasidim says, Simin Taf Mem Zayin, he says, if someone's told a dream, either it's like a good news he got in a dream, or he was told in a dream by a Malach, or by Eliyahu Navi, if it's like one of those type of dreams, you shouldn't tell it to other people. Because they don't do nisim in public. They don't do nisim if everyone knows about it. It's only if he privately keeps it to himself. Also says person shouldn't. Rabbi Huda Chassid, he says, person shouldn't tell a dream if a person doesn't like him. Only to a chacham and yirei chet. He should tell his dream if it's good news, so that he'll get a good interpretation by him and he'll interpret it the right way, and therefore it will be a good dream. Also, you should only get eitzah, you should only get advice from only a good friend. He wants to do the good advice.
Yeah.
And then in Masechet Brachos, we know the Gemara says, Daf Nun Hayim base, it says that if someone, Rachmana litzlan, he has a bad dream, so it says Hatavas Chaloim. We're on Shulchan Aruch Sim Reish Kaf. He does Hatavas Chaloim. He gets three friends, and then they say says he had a bad dream, and then they say some sugim. There's this whole seder Hatavas Chaloim. So the Gersa of the Rosh there, and even the Shulchan Aruch, when it brings this Gemara, it says it needs to be three of the friends. So this is why it needs to be friends. He needs to be telling it to his friends. And on the same exact Amud, later on in that Amud of the Gemara, it says that someone who's sick, the first day you shouldn't tell people. You shouldn't reveal it. Not to make his mazel get bad. Not to make his mazel start getting bad on the first day. But after that, then you should start telling people. It says Rava, the first day that he got sick, he didn't tell anyone. After that, after the first day passed, then he said to Shamish, go and announce every year, Rava Cholash, Rava got sick. Why? So that whoever loves me, then they'll daven for me that I get better. And whoever hates me, they'll be happy. Just so that they rejoice. Yay, he's sick, and he's sick. Because they learned from a pasuk that if they end up getting happy, it ends up getting rid of the char and af. And it ends up making it that he'll get better. So the enemies are happy of him falling.
Yeah, also the pasuk that says if your enemy is hungry, you should feed him bread. If your enemy is thirsty, you should drink him water.
Oh, really?
That's the Tzifradeya, on the story in the Bryce of Perek Shira. David HaMelech, he just finished Sefer Tehillim. And he was asking Kadosh Baruch Hu, is there any brio that you created that says as many shiros and shpachos as I say?
Oh yeah.
So he was being a bit gaivadig at that time. So Kadosh Baruch Hu brought a small minor tzifradeya, a little frog, and it hacked him at that minute. So it said, David, don't be so proud of yourself. I'm just a small little frog, and I say 3,000 mishalim in every word I speak.
Really? Every croak?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he also says, I'm also Isaac in a very big mitzvah.
What's that mitzvah?
The pasuk that that says if your enemy is hungry, you should feed him bread, and if your enemy is thirsty, you should drink him water. So there's a certain creature in the sea that when it's hungry, it grabs the frog and eats it.
Oh, so it's feeding its enemy.
So whenever you see like a big fish eating and you see an animal eating another animal, that animal probably is being Isaac and being good. So
Yeah, don't feel bad for it.
yeah, they're getting a new Milo.
Yeah, wow.
So also the Zohar says the tzifardea is the only animal that doesn't sleep.
Really?
Also Snapple's battle also said that.
Says that? Cover of Snapple?
Yeah. It's actually the source is from Chazal.
Oh, wow.
Zohar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. So, also brings in the Yalka, Sefer Torah Torah. It goes on the Chumash. It brings that the brothers of Yosef, they hated him. So it brings Rav Kook. He would be Makarev Jewish people. So they asked him, how could you be Makarev so many people? They did so many Averos. There's so many Averos. How could you love them? So it says it's better to mess up it's better to do a mistake with Avas Chinam than to mess up with Sinas Chinam. It's better than loving them for no reason and if I'm hating them for no reason.
Yes.
And Rav Yechiel Michal Epstein, the author of Aruch HaShulchan, he said that he was being Mekarev. They asked him, how could you be Mekarev the Yehudi if he did so many Averos Chamuras? He did Shabbat Torah, he did the very strictest Averos in the Torah. How can you love him? How can you be Mekarev him? That's the pasuk saying, Tehillim Kuf Lamed Tes Chof Aleph. It says, Misanecha Hashem Asaneh. David HaMelech is saying, the ones that hate you, Hashem, I hate them. So he answered, you're right, I should be chayiv to hate them, but just how can I hate a fellow Jew? It's impossible for me to hate, I just can't do it. I'm not able to do it.
Yeah.
So now about Chanukah, some quick things about Chanukah.
Before that, Aaron HaKohen, when he saw a person who was over on a lot of Averos, he would befriend him, he would greet him friendly. So then that person was saying, if only Aaron knew what I did, he wouldn't befriend me. So they stopped doing the Averos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so now, getting back to Chanukah. So, first of all, if you take a look in Kuntras Acharon, at the bottom of the Tamei HaMenhagim, Sefer Tamei HaMenhagim, at the bottom of the page Kuntras Acharon, in Yoni Chanukah, Sif Koton Dalet, he brings from the Siddur Arizal, says from the Rivash, to say after Alokas Neiros 7 times Vihinoyam, and which is the end of Mizmor Tzadi, and also you should say 7 times Yoshev B'Seser Elyon, which is Mizmor Tzadi Aleph. And even Yom Naroim, also in any Eis Sarah, Shaloi Tavai, any Eis Sarah, it's good to say these 7 times. So if you look at any Seder Alokas Ner Chanukah, if you look in the back, we'll always have V'hinoyam and Yoshev B'Seis Elyon.
It's not commonly said. It's like...
Yeah. It says, actually, then he brings from the Tashbates, in Siman Reish Nun Ches, Shalas V'Tshuva Tashbates, he says, when the Kohanim of Chashmonaim, when they went to war, they said the Pasuk V'hinoyam 7 times, Pasuk Oyachem As Be'eru, which is in Mizmor Yoshev B'Seis Elyon, they said that twice, and then they won. That's how they won. When they said these psukim when they went to war.
Oh, wow.
And that's how they won. Should be powerful to say it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then in the Siddur Beis Yaakov also, a good zemer to say in Chanukah is we usually say Ki Eshem Rosh Shabbos on Shabbos. The zemer made written by the Evan Ezra, he signs his name Avraham in the beginning of each line. So also there's a similar one in Sefer Beis Yaakov, the Yavet of Yaakov Emden. He brings to say Ichlu Mashmanim, a zemer called Ichlu Mashmanim. It's written by the Evan Ezra. It has 5 sections, and each one, it's the Rosh Tevis of it is Avraham, and he says this is written by the Even Ezer. Ich Nashmanim. It's about. It says it's supposed to be said on Shabbos Chanukah.
It is found in the Siddur of the Yavitz.
Yeah, it says. It says it's supposed to be. It says in it about Shabbos Chanukah. Yeah. One more thing about the Even Ezra that has to do with Chanukah. If you look at the end of Sefer Malachi, the Parish of the Even Ezra on Tanakh, he says at the end of Sefer Malachi, at the end of which is really the end of Trei Asar in Nevi'im, he says end of Nevi'im, end of the entire Nevi'im. He says, I've explained this, me, which is Avraham ben Rabbi Meir ben Ezra Hasvardi, in the year, I've completed this in the year 4917, which is in English years, it's 1157, on Aleph Teves on Rosh Chodesh Teves, which is in Chanukah, in the city of Roidos. Yes. Okay. Now, just one more thing to end off with. In the Sefer Tzemach David, where the Talmud of the Ramah, Talmud Muvak of the Ramah raised him like a child. The Sefer Tzemach David, it says, when he goes through all the years since the creation of the world, he goes through all the years. The year Elef Revi, the Tafresh Chaf Beis, 3,622 from the creation of the world, which is 138 BCE. He says in that year, why is Chanukah, he talks about the Nes of Chanukah, that's the year that Nes of Chanukah happened. So why is Chanukah 8 days? So Megillas Tainis, Parak Tes, the ninth paragraph of Megillas Tainis, they ask why is Chanukah 8 days. He gives an answer, because that's how much time it took for them to be busy with it, with getting prepared. But then he also gives a reason, he says a reason. The reason is because by the war, they're all running to the mountains, scattering to the deserts. They couldn't be Mekayim Chagas Sukkos. They couldn't make Sukkos. They couldn't do Sukkos. They couldn't do the whole Yom Tov of Sukkos. They're all running. They're busy with the whole war. So now, later on, after they needed to do, more than a month later, they needed to do instead 8 day instead of doing Sukkos. They needed to make a new day of Simcha. A new day of Simcha instead. So that's why Chanukah is 8 days. To answer the Kasha of Beis Yosef. Why is Chanukah 8 days? Here is instead of Sukkot. You need to just make new days instead of Sukkot that year.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what's the question of the week?
Now for the question of the week. So the question of the week is, who is the longest reigning king in Tanakh?
In all of Tanakh. Longest reigning king. Okay. Good question. Okay, thank you for watching Torah Talk Vayeishev and Chanukah. Whoever gets the answer of the question of the week, whoever submits the answer will be announced next week.
Okay, bye.